Welcome to This Woman Can, the Women's Leadership Podcast and your source of information related to women's leadership, female entrepreneurship, personal success and career advancement. I'm your host, Janice Sutherland, Executive Coach, Leadership Development Expert and the author of This Woman Can, the No Bullshit Guide for Women Who Lead. And now, this week's episode. Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of This Woman Can. I hope you've all had a great Christmas period. I know we're in that dead zone now between Christmas and New Year, where we're either still relaxing or having to go back to work before the next holiday. But whatever happens, our thoughts always turn to 2019, our next year, and what do we need to do and how we're going to get there and how do we ensure we stay on track and achieve all our goals. And in the last episode, I'd have talked to you about goal setting, how I set goals and how I keep focused of what I need to do for the new year. But one of the things I'm often asked about is how do I keep myself motivated for all the things I do? And I get asked this a lot when I was in the corporate world, and now I'm an entrepreneur, and how I work. And there will come a time, or many, many times in every woman's life, where we're thinking about, wow, this goal is too hard, I have to give up, I can't go on. Or it just feels so tough to actually do this, just to do this. And like I said, I get a lot of questions about how am I able to keep myself motivated? So I thought this week I'd share with you what I do and how I cope when things get tough and how I don't let things get in my way, undermine my success. It's how we face it that really determines our success. So I'm really excited to be sharing that with you this week. Now, the first thing I want to say is that it's nobody's responsibility for your motivation but you. Me, myself, and I. You are responsible. I am responsible for my own motivation, and the same goes for you. But there are a few things you can do to help you, support you, and just make the road just that little bit easier as you go forward. Now, the first thing I'd say is negative people. You know, those people who are around you who hate absolutely everything. You know, the people where when they walk in the room, this happens. That's my impression of the life being sucked out of the room. The energy sucks out of the room. And we know it's contagious. Someone comes in, they start moaning, they start complaining. Nothing's going right. Nothing will go right. Everything's gone wrong. And it spreads. And what that does is hold you back. It doesn't propel you. It really makes you on a downer. And it could sometimes be somebody close to you, and it could even be you. And if it is you, then you really need to have that word with yourself and change your mindset. And if it's someone close, I'd recommend you really have a word with them. And if possible, remove yourself from the environment they're in, because they're just going to bring you down. They're just going to drain you. And it's such hard work when you can be using that energy somewhere else. The next thing is challenging yourself. I always have BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goals. Goals that will challenge me, goals that will excite me. There's lots of new things I want to be doing for 2019. I want to increase the number of speaking opportunities, gigs I do, not just here in Antigua, but around the Caribbean, the US and the UK. I want to have a book tour. I'm focusing on a book tour. I'm focusing how I can collaborate with other people on podcasts and how I just drive myself forward. But it's got to be something that really excites you, that really motivates you to get out of bed in the morning and get on with it. And then that leads to my next thing. It's about me time. You'll hear me talk about me time, taking some time out for yourself, looking after yourself, having a morning routine. I have my routine in the morning where I either run, ride, read, or write. And those are a couple hours just for me. And I know it's easier said than done when you don't have children, but there is a little time you can eke out for yourself, even if it's 15 minutes before the kids get up, that you can spend some time for yourself, be your lunch hour after they've gone to bed. Make a concerted effort to have some time for yourself. And then still focusing on yourself, I lead on to personal development. Now, personal development, I have a big thing about this. It's ongoing. There's always opportunities to learn. You should always be learning. And I don't mean you have to go to university, you have to go to college. You don't even have to read a book if you don't want to. There are lots of free resources you can utilize to actually develop yourself. They could be going to events. They could be listening to podcasts like this. They can be just going outside. It's looking at things that inspire you. That for me, when I have my morning walk, I get my best ideas in the outside, in the fresh air. But you have to become better in order to be better. So take some time out for you on your personal development. With that, then the next thing I'd look at is being clear on my goals and priorities, your goals, priorities. Last week, I talked about setting up a vision board using Pinterest just to visualize, feeling, hearing, seeing, smelling, even tasting what my goals or achievement of my goals will look like for the next year. And I also write them down. By having them written down, it reminds me of why I'm doing it and what the reward will be at the end of it once I achieve those goals. So I want to make sure I'm totally clear on my goals, priorities. I'm not saying I don't deviate every now and then, because sometimes I do, but inevitably what I do usually brings me back on track. Like this year, writing the book really wasn't, or the book I wrote wasn't on the agenda with my goals, but it really did help me with my platform for 2019. So it was a great endeavor. It was a great endeavor there. The next thing is to get organized. And when I say get organized, I'm talking about mentally, I'm talking about physically, I'm talking about the environment you're working. Get rid of time stealers at work. If you're at work and you have meetings that happen for meeting's sake, you have reports you do that you know no one ever looks at. When those reports are like that, experiment. Don't do it. Don't send it and see what happens. If nobody shouts for it, then it's like no one actually is reading it, and you're spending a lot of time on things that really won't generate anything for your purpose. Look at the people you're working with. Are the people there who just come along to your desk and just suck out another hour? You know, you look at them, they stop to get a glass of water. Next thing you know, an hour's gone by and it's left you with pressures because you now have a deadline you need to achieve. So if you can limit those interactions, that would really help you propel you forward. And if you need help at home, if you've got a family, I know what we're like. As women, we don't want anybody else helping. We're superwomen. We can do it all ourselves. But there ain't no shame in the game if you have to get a little bit of support. Maybe someone has to come in and do your washing, your ironing, clean the house, take the kids to school on a school run, rope in your family, get the kids the dishes. Find ways to lessen the time and get yourself more organized in what you're doing. The other thing I'm a big believer on is really control the controllables. Just focus on that. Don't waste time worrying about things you can't control. We can spend a lot of time belly aching, bitching about things that really, no matter what we do, how much hot air we spout, it's never going to change. If we can't change it, or it doesn't add value, if you try to change it, then leave it alone. It's another energy suck. It's another thing to drain your energy when you can actually divert that to something that provides you far more satisfaction and aid you in achieving your goals. The other thing I want you to do next is recognize when you've done a job well. Reward yourself. We spend so much time looking forward. We spend so much time jumping to the next goal, the next objective, the next target, that we fail to spend time looking at how far we've come and what we've achieved. So within your goals that you've set for yourself, I want you to add recognition rewards. So when you've achieved a goal, make it a habit to give yourself a small reward. It could be a manicure, it could be a trip away, depending on the size of the goal. It could be just a nice dinner, but make small recognition rewards that make it worthwhile and motivate you to achieve your next goal. The next couple of things I want you to do, or the next thing, is persevere. Perseverance, resilience. Accept that you're going to meet bumps in the road. It's inevitable. It's going to be tough. It's going to happen. That's what it is. That is life. But it's how you handle it that matters. If you hit a roadblock, don't beat yourself up. You're allowed to make mistakes. It's all part and parcel of development. What I want you to do is step back, reflect, Learn from it and adjust and go forward. Remind yourself as to why you're doing it, because it's nobody else's responsibility to make yourself happy but yours. You are not a victim. Nobody owes you anything. Nada, zilch, zero, nothing, nil. You have to take ownership of everything that happens in your life. And no one said it was going to be easy. They didn't say it was going to be easy, but they did say it was going to be worth it. So those are my few tips, how I keep myself motivated, how I keep focused on my goals for 2019. I think it's going to be really, really exciting. Lots of things up my sleeve and lots of things coming your way. But before we break up, before we see out 2018, I want to give a huge thank you to all the listeners, to all the people who have listened, downloaded, subscribed, shared, commented, sent me emails, purchased the book This Woman Can, the No Bullshit Guide for Women Who Lead, who've really supported me over 2018. I couldn't have done it without you, and I'm truly, truly grateful. I've got a lot more things in the pipeline, as I said, for 2019, and they are really making me excited. So make sure you continue to listen. Make sure you share. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't keep it the best kept secret. And I want you to spend some time the next couple of days, really focus on your goals, be clear on what you want to achieve. And if you need any help in any shape or form, I'm always here to support you. Visit my website to see how ways I can support you, be that with my ebooks, be that with the podcast, be that with personal one-to-one coaching, be that with my groups that you can join that will keep you focused and for your accountability. Head over to my website, janicesutherland.com, and I'm sure there's a way I can help you. But all that remains to be said is I look forward to connecting with you in 2019. Do see the 2019 or the new year in safely. And remember, if I can, you can, this woman can. Until next time. You've been listening to the This Woman Can podcast, brought to you by This Woman Can, the No Bullshit Guide for Women Who Lead, available on Amazon and Kindle. For more information about the training and consulting services offered for women who lead, including one-on-one executive coaching and group masterminds, visit thiswomancan.coach.